Hi everybody, and welcome to this tutorial on making a black and white from this underexposed photo of a waterfall. The waterfall is crackpot for us. The technical settings from the camera, as we can see up here, it was ISO 100, we zoomed in fully to 200mm. We used the smallest aperture available on the lens, which was 32, which gave us shutter speed of half a second. And looking at the histogram, I could probably have gone 2 or 3 stops longer than that. But I do like the flow of the water on this. So you've got it coming in from this side and going diagonally across. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go for black and white. And I'm going to use the eyedropper tool here, well, whatever you call it, the point adjust tool. And I'm going to go onto the white bit and drag upwards. So that's going to bring the blues if you look at this little grid over here. And then maybe go to the black bits over here and drag those down. That's not done a right lot, which I didn't expect because it was fairly colour free. Now, I want it dreamy, and I don't particularly want massive detail anywhere, so I'm going to bring the clarity down to maybe -30, so it gives it soft edges. I'm going to take the highlights up all the way to the top and then gradually bring up the white. So what I'm looking at here, just want it to get a dreamy effect. So don't want, if you keep your eye on the histogram, it doesn't want to be over the end. I mean, if you go over the end, you get that sort of effect happening. It blows up, drag it down. But you notice if you go too far with the whites, the detail starts to disappear in these areas anyway. Whereas if you bring it down a little bit, you still retain a bit of detail. And to play with the shadows, see, if you go up, you do start to see the rock a little bit behind it. But for me, it removes that dreamy sort of effect. So I'm going to drag the dark sliders down. So shadows. I don't want the blacks to clip. If you look at this area here, you can see it's just gone absolutely featureless and black. That's called clipping. The way to check you've got clipping problems is to press the Alt key and now grab hold of your black slider, and it comes up with this black and white thing. Anywhere on here which is black has clipped, so I'm just reducing the amount of black to about there. So we weren't far off with the actual shot. Now for me, this shot has got too much room at the top, so I'm thinking about cropping, and I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. And now I've got it so the flow of water is from top left down to bottom right. Hit the return key. I'm going to try something a little bit naughty. I'm going to flip it so the water flows from top left to bottom right, which is the way we read, just to see what happens. So if we go to right click on the photo, go to transform, flip horizontal. Whoa, the whole world just changed. It does feel a lot different, doesn't it? So I'm going to go for a slightly different crop. If you go to this little drop down here where it says custom, now 3:2 is our usual sort of crop. See, it maintains that sort of aspect ratio. I quite like that. All the time I'm cropping, I kind of look at the preview up here. That's about done. You can, of course, if you want to, start to add a little bit of toning. Maybe you want a little bit of blue in the water to give it a cool look. Or if you want to do a nice warm one, you could give it a little bit of orangey sort of sepia look. That's in the highlights. Or in the dark, deep tones, let's give it a bit of blue. And if you drag this, I'll just put the blues in the very darkest areas, so it's quite subtle. Another one which is useful is a bit of sharpening. See these little flecks of water here? That'll bring out detail in that. I was shooting at ISO 100, so I'm not going to put any noise reduction. Put the lens corrections on, they're for free, so you might as well. And the one I was going to show you is just a vignette. And this darkens the edges a little bit. So my usual approach with vignettes is quite a small midpoint, maybe 25, feather of 100, and then adjust the amount to suit. So if you go too far, it goes really dark. If you go the other way, it goes really bright. It's the taste, really. I'd reckon that's about 30, -30, and that's the final shot. So if we go back to the original shot, right click on it and do create virtual copy. We get a copy of it. And then we go to develop, settings, reset all settings. So we've got from that start point to quite a nice, lovely little soft waterfall shot. I hope that helped, and Lightroom really is that quick and easy to use. Cheers for watching.